Welcome to Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus. We have an exciting show for you this weekend. One thing that makes it exciting, Gary Clark is back. He won the convention, the Playboy convention. But we have some new segments. We have everything that you like. So come back and enjoy the show.
It takes hard work, grit, and determination to become a professional football player like Luke Kuechly. But it only takes 15 minutes to see how much you could save on car insurance with Geico.
Well, you know, the one drive we scored on, I believe we didn't even throw a pass, if I remember right. I mean, I don't know how many times that happens during a season to have an entire drive and run the ball. That was unique, and you know, you got to credit the offensive linemen with the way they blocked, and the tight ends with the way they block on the edge, and our receivers downfield have done a really good job blocking. And I was really proud of our offensive line, the way they battled today and kept playing and pass protection and run game, going against a lot of really talented players in the front seven for the Rams. I think we were optimistic that right away we're going to be able to operate out of the gate, but when you're going against your own defense day after day after day, it doesn't necessarily give you a great picture of what the real thing's going to look like against different teams every single week. And you know, we're going to figure out an identity as we go and see what we do well, and we got to figure it out. The sooner the better, you know.
Well, we're back. We got the whole crew back. We got Mike Baker, as once again, he's the professor this week. I don't know what the class is about. Gary, welcome back, man. I hear you won the Playboy convention.
Course.
You were number one, right?
Winning, baby. Winning.
Why he back?
Oh,
That's
no,
all I gotta
we got
say.
Donna Hopper. Now, you know, we're a little bit happy this week for the simple aspect the Washington Redskins won. Now, Gary, I'll tell you this. It was two people on this set that didn't think they were going to win.
No.
You'd be very surprised.
One is missing.
And
It wasn't
one,
me.
It wasn't?
It wasn't me.
Oh, on that set. That's
Yeah.
right. Because Donna said they win, and I said Mike and Ricky Irvin said they wouldn't.
Wow.
And they
I
had
can't
a
believe you
straight
went that
face.
way.
Wow.
You know-
Because he's really a diehard Cowboy fan. That's
Uh-huh,
why.
that
Well,
Deep
undercover,
down
you
inside,
see me
he is
sitting
a
with Danny
Cowboy
every
fan.
time you get a chance. Let's talk about that, though.
I didn't think they could run 229 yards on the ground.
Well, you just said the key. And what did we say last
didn't
week?
think they
My
could.
last words were, they're going to win because they're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
And then what do you think, Donna? They ran the ball well.
Ran the ball with three running backs,
but
Chris
Skinny Rob did
Thompson,
really good.
Rob, and then Samaji, which is the rookie running back. All three of them got in on the mix and everything. And they said that Callahan said, what do you all want to do as an offensive line? They said, we want to run the ball.
Made them better. And I
Yeah.
tell you what, it kept the other team's offense off the field, and they ate up that yard. And after a while, you saw those great defensive players they started to talk about with the Rams. You saw them backing off.
Well, they weren't as great as they thought they were, correct?
The
I
teacher
like
outsmarted
I like the
the
word
student.
Skinny Rob now, though.
Skinny
Skinny
Rob.
Rob.
Well, Skinny Rob got hurt too, nicked up
Yeah,
shoulder
got
and
it, yeah.
everything. But guess what? They don't lose
Is
a
it a
beat
fractured
still.
rib, Donna?
They got needles for that.
So he won't play this week.
Possibly.
I tell you what, Greg Minuscu apparently challenged his players. He said he got kind of tired of hearing about Sean McVay. And he said, let's just get out there and show that other team that Sean McVay is not the bee's knees.
Well, not to be the person who said it on the set last week. He had something waiting for Sean, and you could tell the difference. And then you take a look at it. He taught Sean. So you look at him as being the person that could beat Sean, and I think he did a very good job. Very important game, though. And
It
the
still was
defense,
a close game, though, guys.
Backwards
Yeah,
and forwards.
yeah, well-
I mean, you look at the fake punt by the Rams, and then Greg comes back at the very end of the game, and Mason gets the interception because he threw a wrinkle in there.
Well, what do you think about our defense, though? We're not talking about them. I think you can start seeing improvement in them each and every week.
They say we finally have a safety since Sean Taylor and DJ Swerner. We finally got a guy who can hit and lead. and be a control factor back there. He's awesome.
Now, he
just
was
awesome.
the leader off the field as well last
Yeah.
week.
But
good
it was
player.
pressure up front. He sent those guys after them. I mean, they play aggressive defense.
That's what I like. And that's the way Greg was when he played.
Yeah.
And every time he coordinates somewhere, that's the way he have his players. He have them attack. And I always think that's most important. You have to
Yeah.
attack that side of the ball. You can't just let them come to you. You take it to them.
Without a doubt. Pressure's big, you know, and who can handle pressure and who can't handle pressure. That's a big thing.
And did you see Donna? Donna was at the game, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Donna went all the way to L.A., took the red eye back, got some sound bites. Got to give her a lot of creds on that. Did you see Zach Brown run down a tight end 10 yards behind him and catch him before the goal line?
That's what you need. And, you know, that's what we're seeing on this team that we did not see in prior years. And I think that's
Speed.
very important. But the one thing I'm not seeing, we need a little more from the special teams.
Yeah, because that's the missing link. But they got the field goals. They missed one, but they had the punts were in good field position. I mean, as far as them fielding it. So that's not bad, but they just haven't broke one yet.
Yeah, they need, though, to control the field a little bit more. Get them better where they can go and maybe have 4 plays and score or something like that. So the offense doesn't have to go the length of the field a long ways.
Yeah, so back to the running game, Tony. How do you turn that around as far as from a team that had problems pass blocking and run blocking, but then they all of a sudden busted it loose for 229 yards, like Mike said?
Well, what you're doing is you're making the defense have to think. Prior to this, they were going out and trying to force and throwing that ball a lot. When you start running that ball, you can ask any defensive lineman. They're not going to get off that ball as quick because they got to brace themselves for the run. And they ran it and they stuck to running it no matter how great they wanted to throw. They stayed there and ran the ball. And, that's what
And
you
the
have
tight
to do.
ends did a good job,
And
too,
the
of
counter
blocking.
tray, I loved it.
Yeah,
Those
I hadn't
guys in
seen
motion.
that before.
They, I
That's the
mean,
first
it
time
was-
I was
Yeah,
like,
I said, wow.
like, they're going back to our thing. I was like,
Wait, it caught
I
all
saw
of our
that pull
attention.
too, and I saw that pull. I was like,
Yeah, the guard and the tackle
Apparently Trent
pull.
loves to go downfield and take on
Yeah.
a safety or a corner.
Yeah, they
I
do.
mean, loves it. Those guys were
pulled
enjoying
that out
heck
of the
that.
box.
I was like, what?
But even though we're happy here, you know, next week they have an even bigger task. So we got to start talking about the future. They got these young Raiders coming here, and these guys are tough. They'll need to run the ball as well as they'll need to stop the run. We're going to pay some bills. We'll be back in a moment.
I'll have the langoustine lobster ravioli.
For you, sir?
The original call was for langoustine ravioli. Langoustine is a tiny kind of lobster. Slight shellfish allergy rules that out. Plus, my wife ordered the langoustine. I will have chicken tenders and tater tots.
If you're a ref, you way over-explain things. It's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico.
Sir, we don't have tater tots.
It's what you do.
I will have nachos.
He asked us what we wanted to do, and we said run the ball, and so did Coach Callahan. So you know, it's nice that he has confidence in us still, and you know, I thought we proved we could run the ball today.
Yeah, we definitely needed this. I think it was big for us to finally get going. We had a rough preseason running the ball. Last week was rough also, so to be able to go out there and get over 200 yards rushing, that was great. So now it's on us. We got to continue to keep it going, and you know, it's a hard task on our end, but we got to continue to make plays. And you know, even all year, me and Rob, Ryan, we just been talking about just trying to be the best trio in this league, and we're gonna just keep working hard every single day. And our offensive line, they're gonna continue to keep working and giving us good looks.
Could you talk a little bit about your play? your touchdown?
It was a draw play. I mean, I can't give enough credit to the offensive line for what they did on that play. It was a play. I took it backside, and I'm really not supposed to because it's not designed to go back there. And but the guys backside, they held their blocks, and I was just able to use my speed. And I kind of got a little tired when I hit like the 15-yard line, but so I might have to do a little more running this week.
And Trent, could you talk a little bit about just how you all were able to run the ball today? 200 and some yards. It's been a long while coming.
Yeah, it has. We've been looking for that run game, all preseason and the little season we have played. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to establish a line of scrimmage. We wanted to, set our paths and be able to go forward a little bit. So Jay allowed us to do that today, and we stepped up to the plate.
Welcome back. And from Adam Batacci told me that the Washington Redskins haven't beaten the Raiders the last 3 times they've been here. Did you know that, G?
I did not know that. He
Yeah,
reminded me that I lost against him the last time I played against him in RFK.
Well, last time I played against him was in that 18th Super Bowl, and you know what
I
that
wasn't
meant.
there.
We took a real thrashing. Well, let's talk about this new Raiders team, though. They're pretty good, but what I saw last week from the Washington Redskins, they can beat this team.
Pretty good is not putting it mildly, Tony. This team is complete. They've got a
So what are you
quarterback.
trying to say?
No, I'm just saying that they've got a running back. Marshawn Lynch is
what
back.
are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say there's not an easy team.
Marshawn Lynch.
No,
Okay,
and
the
then they
beast.
got
Let everybody
Washington,
know who that is.
then they
That's
got
the beast.
Patterson, 3 running backs, and then they got a defensive front, all 7, that will come after you, and then
So you've been talking to Michael?
No, I don't.
No, I have not been talking to
I'll tell
Mike.
you about this is not a pass rush team. This is a team that can be neutralized by the Redskins' offensive line.
But wait,
They have
I
2
think you
sacks.
better back
2
up.
sacks a
That
game.
was
pass
just
rush
then.
team.
This team
2
was known
sacks
for
is-
pass rush.
Really?
They may put pressure, but they only have 2 sacks so far.
But who's going to win?
They got a
Mike?
7 front.
I think the Skins will win this one by
now
3.
He's trying to cut back on. See,
Yeah, he's
That's
trying
because
to
you
play.
back,
yeah.
Gary.
back on.
But this team is complete. Donna is right about
think
that. They
this-
got
I
a
think
very
the
good
offensive
offense, very
line-
good defense.
Now, well, you're talking offense now. Yes, you have Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree, but I think we have 2 of the
their
best
running
corners in the
games?
league right now.
Yeah, people are finally realizing Breland can play.
Yeah.
I
played
like
well.
him. I like the way he played, and I tell you what, he's always been close to a play, but now he's making the play.
Yes.
Now the last thing he got to
Yeah.
do is intercept
He's
the ball.
trying to say that the Raiders' defense, Tony,
I
come
know.
on, that front 7 is
Guess
one of the
what
best.
the left cornerback is? Who the left cornerback is? David Amerson.
Well, their cornerbacks, that's the area
David
they're weak,
Amerson.
but not up
I'd
front.
go after David Amerson. I would.
Yeah, but
So
you
what
know,
you trying to say, Donna?
They're
who's
gonna
gonna
put the
win?
pressure.
The Redskins going to win or lose?
It's going to be a tough game.
But who's going to win or lose?
I'm not saying it's
best
going to
thing
be a
they
tough
got
game.
is
why you
Aldridge.
can't say? I'm like Gary on that one. I mean, after what we saw with the Washington Redskins
gonna
last
happen.
week,
I
you don't
think
think?
the Raiders are going to have the Redskins are going to have a tough time against the Raiders.
Well, they
So
got Carl
basically,
Joseph. They got a
you're
great
just 3
safety.
against 1 is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
And Marshawn Lynch
What
is going
you
to be a problem
saying?
on the
Yeah,
outside.
Redskins
Marshawn
gonna win.
Lynch. Now it is a concern there, but now, Mike, I have to disagree with you.
Yeah.
They got a front 7 that is really
Yes.
one of the best in the league. Maybe they don't have the sacks now, but they have.
But
They
they
had
put
a
the
guy that
pressure.
had about 12 or 14 sacks. They had 2 people last year that was in double-figure sacks. So this team is very good.
I don't see it. I just don't see them getting.
That's
getting
why
to
you
Kirk
sitting
Cousins.
here and you're not on the field.
I don't see them getting. to
Because
Kirk
you
Cousins.
can't see it and you don't
I
know
don't.
it.
I just don't
Hey,
see
see,
them.
He didn't see it
Jared,
last
have
week,
you
right?
noticed the professor now?
I'm just glad he's back
with
on the
glasses?
bandwagon. I'm just
yes.
glad he's back from Dallas and he
I-
came back onto the
That's
bandwagon.
only because
Yeah,
you're here.
because
That's
they
only
lost
because
against
you're here.
Denver yesterday.
You
That's
know,
why it is.
I don't
That's
see
right.
them getting the pass rush on Kirk Cousins. Everybody thinks they're going to get. I just don't see it.
The Rams got it on him.
No, I don't see it. I
He
just
was
don't
pressure,
see it.
and that's a
I
totally
see it.
different team.
And you know how you can beat this team? Run the ball.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Run the ball. They have to throw something, but run the ball. Keep them off of
I'm
the
okay
field.
with running the ball. I'm okay with running
I mean, you just look at the difference in
Because
the
it's
last
gonna
week
open up the passing
performance.
game.
The only guy I worry about is Jared Cook. I mean, that is one heck of a tight end, and 5 for 5 on Sunday.
Oh, they got more than that, though.
I worry about Cook. That's all I worry about.
I worry about
When
them
you have a
running the ball.
quarterback that
Crabtree,
can
of
make
course.
plays, you got to start
Yeah.
worrying right there. And then you got some receivers that they're not the greatest, but they can stretch the field. And your tight end is just for that middle
He's
zone.
worrying about one player.
And then you got a running back So all this you have to worry about the unit. You can't just worry about one player because they can beat you anywhere. And that's what the Washington Redskins did against the Rams.
Yeah,
All
it was a
three
big game.
phases
They came
played
through.
well.
That's why the Redskins going to win again, even though you throwing them under the bus.
I didn't throw them on the bus. I just
I
stated
think when
facts.
all the cards are stacked up at the end of the year,
don't
the
tell the
Skins will
truth.
have a top 10 defense for the first time in 8 years. They're going to have a top 10 defense. This is a tough defense, Tony. They're going to give Carson problems.
Minuska is doing a great job with them.
Oh, yeah.
And what he's doing is he's using his tools. And that's what's important. It's not no one person that you isolate in. All of them are doing what they do best. And I tell you what, when we were a good defense, and you know this, Gary, Coach Gibbs did this with his whole team. Whatever you did best, he had you to do that for the team.
That's smart.
And that's the way this starting to look to me.
Can't you see the passion, too, from the defense also? Because he said that he wanted players that had passion about
They
playing.
Don't be trying to come
It's
back.
it's not just the coach, but they got some
outside.
players in here
Yeah.
now, a couple of
Yeah.
new players that they're not going to take losing. They're just going to get
That's
the
a
whole
good
team,
thing.
and that's what they
That's the
needed,
most important
leadership.
part.
And when you talk about leadership, someone have to lead us out of here because, you know, one thing in this segment, Donna never did say the Redskins was going to win. We'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, I just saved a whole lot of money by switching to Geico.
Huh. We should take a closer look at Geico.
You know, Geico insures way more than cars, boats, motorcycles, even RVs.
Geico insures RVs? What's an RV?
The thing we've been stuck on for 5 years.
Wait, I'm not a real moose?
We've been over this, Jeff.
We're stickers.
I'm not a real moose.
Give him some space.
Deep breaths, Jeff.
What's a sticker?
Take a closer look at Geico. Great savings and a whole lot more.
Well, you know, one thing that happened with the Washington Redskins winning, they're in a tie for first place. I tell you what, last week, everyone thought this is a must game. We even had a segment called the Panic Room.
Y'all was panicking.
Now, all of a sudden, they win, and in the NFC East, they're tied for first.
But winning cures everything. Always has, always will.
What do you think about the East this year?
Well, everybody was already crowning Dallas as the champs, and they went out and got slaughtered by Denver by 45, I think 45-12 or something like that.
Yeah, they were out of character then.
Right.
I still think they're a very good team.
Well, they went away from the running game, and which caused them, but
because he only had 8 yards.
but they abandoned it early.
Because he had 8 yards.
Right. It was a reason. It was a reason for that.
Well, Denver was bringing their defense was like swarming on them, and then you had Philadelphia come back with a win.
Well, 2 games in a row, their defense has been very good. So that's not, and their quarterback as well. So therefore, that team is going to be one of the top teams. And you look at the Giants; they invested a lot of money in their defense,
which is still
and
nice.
we'll see how that works out. Yeah. But at the same time, it looks as if everyone has improved in the NFC East, and that may be the hardest thing for the Washington Redskins as they play each team.
Yeah, but you know what? It's nice to be tied for first as opposed to being last place.
Yeah, especially when you got Oakland and Kansas City on the horizon.
Right now, too.
Right.
So both great teams. But the East, it'd be nice to see the East, be the beast of the East again, because that used to be the best division in football.
It kind of like
nice
started.
to get to see it again.
But then remember when they were the beast from the East, they always end up knocking each other off, and that's the one thing that I'm afraid of this year.
Well, it's starting back because, like Gary said, for that to come back up, that's one of the top divisions. And it started actually last year because it went down to the wires at the end of last year to crowned the NFC East champs. So it was pretty easy, even the whole year.
I don't know. Dallas kind of showed everybody the whole year that they were going to be the team. So,
But at the end, they kind of like died.
I'm still disappointed the Washington Redskins didn't beat the Giants last year
But we had
and got into the
multiple
playoffs.
chances to get in, and we didn't. But this is a new year. We're talking about this
It
year.
looks like a 9-7 and 10-6 will win the division, Tony.
Oh yeah, you said that every
Well,
year
no,
you come
except
up with that.
These
They're not
guys,
gonna
they
win.
have to face. They all have to face the Raiders. They all have to face Kansas City, and you saw what Kansas City did to Philly, and they all got to face the same teams that the Redskins do.
All
so
the West
9-7, 10-6 going to win it.
More than those teams, I'm afraid, as I said, of them knocking each other off because that's the way it looks, that they're evenly mixed on both sides. They either got a good offense, a good defense, or they got a good combination. So I look at them knocking each other off more than I look at those other teams.
It would be great, though. It'd be great, like when we were the Beast of the East. It'd be great when you always have at least 2 to 3 teams out of the NFC East get to the playoffs. Those are the great years, because when we lost our championship game, a lot of times it was against the Giants.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's what we had to win ours against.
Multiple teams
exactly.
from the East and because we kicked everybody else butt, and then we were split. We were 1-1, and then we kicked every other team's butt.
But 2 teams may get in because you look at some of the other divisions, they're not as strong as the NFC East. So you may have the NFC East champion coming out.
Tony's
and
face?
No, but you may have the wild card coming.
While you talking?
You know what? I don't know, Johnny.
You may have the wild
We're gonna
card.
have to check
Another
your
look like, why is she even talking?
Look, you got Carolina that has not
who
been
barely
good.
won the other day.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, that they may cancel out some
Atlanta,
of the
who
other
can't hold a lead.
Oh, no.
Hello?
Well, still.
Seattle.
So 2 teams may come out of the East.
Yeah, they could. But it's going to be, I doubt it, but it
it's
could
a possibility.
happen. But so, you know what my look was? Don't look for 2 teams. You come out of the East.
Well, that is true.
That's the way you got to go with that. And not
Why
speaking
you
of
give me
coming
the
out.
look?
Yeah.
Right, because you still haven't said the Redskins are going to win this week.
Yeah. Donna.
She said they weren't going to win. She told me offset that they're not going to win.
I did not say
Am I
that.
the only one picking them to win this
Run the tape.
But you know what? We talking about run the tape. We're going to take a time out instead, and we're going to run it back for ourselves. When we come back, we need to talk a little bit about the Nationals, because this is Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus. Be back in a moment.
Welcome to the Sports Bar Challenge. This week's game is the Raiders at the Redskins. Crystal City Restaurant likes the Raiders. Crystal City Sports Pub likes the Raiders. Fairfax Hard Times likes the Redskins. Henry's Ale House likes the Redskins. Fairfax Outback likes the Raiders. Greavy's likes the Redskins. It'll be a tough, hard-fought game, and you need to look for turnovers to be a factor.
Ah, the Ravens, never fleeting, still are winning. But when the pests come knocking at your door, and the bees that bumble sound like the roar of the stadium's rumble, and you see the ants and roaches creeping and crawling as the moonlight hits the floor, have no fear, for PMSI will rid you of those pests to scamper and scatter on your floor. Once they treat, never more.
I'm excited to announce our What's Bugging You segments about asking the NFL fans what's bugging them about this 2017 NFL season. Patty from PMSI is going to do a great job of hosting this. I can't wait to see who she's asking, what's bugging that person. I want to know what's bugging Tony. I want to know what's bugging Donna. I want to know what's bugging Mike. Nothing's bugging me. But what's bugging you, NFL fans? Let's find out.
Hi, I'm Patty Pierleonardi with Pest Management Services, and I'm here on Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus show today with a new segment called What's Bugging You? With my little friend here, Izzy, the bearded lizard, by Reptiles Alive. Pest Management Services is a full family-owned and operated pest control service for residential and commercial facilities, and we hope that this is never found in your home. So today, we're going to ask one of our listeners what's bugging you in NFL season so far today.
Hi, I'm Zach, and what's bugging me is why is Andy Dalton, the quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, who has 4 interceptions for the season with only 2 games in, playing and starting on an NFL team when Colin Kaepernick, who had 4 interceptions last year, is on the bench and on the streets with no job. That's what's bugging me.
Thanks, Zach from Ashburn, to let us know what's bugging you in the NFL season. From lizards to snakes now. We'd like to know what's bugging you. So contact us by notifying us at www.yournflexperience.com so we can hear what's bugging you. Hopefully not a snake like this in your house.
Yes, it's that time of the year again. Next weekend, I will host my 18th annual Hoop It Up for Breast Cancer Basketball Tournament. Can you believe 18 years? And Gary Clark played in the first one. But this is more than just about a weekend of exciting basketball. It's a 3-day event that will educate the community on the importance of early detection. Yes, guess what? It's free to the public. And you can go to my website at www.hopkinsbcinc.org, working together to make an impact in the cancer community.
As you know, we're doing a new segment each and every week. One that we're doing this week, Ty Miller, who has his own television show in Pittsburgh, he's going to tell us from his view what he sees with the Washington Redskins.
Hail to the Redskins! I don't know the rest. Hey, what's up? It's Ty Miller of Championship Chase here in Pittsburgh, here to talk about your Washington Redskins. Well, so far you're 1-1. You lost to the Eagles at home. You beat the Rams on the road. So to me, it makes for an 8-8 season. Well, 3 things I've learned about the Redskins so far. Number 1, nobody knows who these guys are, especially on offense. I mean, I know Kirk Cousins, but come on, the running backs, Chris Thompson, Rob Kelly, Samaje Perine. Who are these guys? And who are the wide receivers? Now, I do know Terrell Pryor, but what I don't know is if Terrell Pryor is always on the field. The number 2 thing I've learned about the Redskins is this. They want to be like the Dallas Cowboys. For real. You ran the rock for 229 yards last week. That is very Cowboy-like. And number 3, you will have to be Cowboy-like to beat the Raiders this week. Otherwise, your defense will get creamed by the 3 C's. Carr, Cooper, and Crabtree. And oh, don't forget about beast mode, Marshawn Lynch. My prediction, Redskins will lose to the Raiders. And before I wrap up, I want to say this. Tony, when I was singing, Hail to the Redskins, I noticed you weren't laughing. Well, I laughed when you played. From the Steel City in Pittsburgh, Ty Miller from Championship Chase. Now back to you, Tony.
My tip of the week is follow the Nats because they could win it all. And I tell you what, that's a very good team. They should model. You know, you look at that team and was built from the ground up, and now they are an excellent team.
And they do have some room. I mean, they have some cap room. I mean, if you look at it. But the only thing that concerns me, Tony, is a middle reliever. And I like what Dusty's been doing. He's been trying different people out. He brought A.J. Cole in middle relief. He didn't do that well. I was sort of thinking that maybe Edwin Jackson would be the 5th reliever. Excuse me, the 5th starter, and they would move him into maybe a relief role, middle relief role, if one of the main guys went down. But they need a middle reliever.
They're getting Harper back.
I just going to say, is Harper back?
It's not Matt Grace. And of course, with Strasburg, Gio, and Max, and Tanner Rourke, they're going to have 4 of the best.
Mm-hmm. So are we going to win it or not win it? I'm trying to figure out.
They're going to go.
Against us?
I think they're going to go to the World Series.
Well, we're going to win it.
And
here come another Donna answer. He can't just say yes or no. He can't
so
say, hey, Professor, put your glasses back on and tell us what's going on.
Mike, do you hate D.C.? You hate all the teams
No,
in
I follow the Senators. In fact, we were talking about Jimmy Pearsall in Cleveland. I think Cleveland will be in the World Series.
Oh, well, let's don't put him under. What about the
Cleveland
Mystics? They're out now, but they had a good year.
Yeah, you got to congratulate them, Tony, all year long. They made it almost to the championship series, got outs by Minnesota, who was with Miles Morris, that team, you know, but much success to them because this is one of their best years in a while.
Speaking of making it to the big game, one person wasn't here last week in the picks, and he ended up with 5-0. I don't know how that happened. Mike, what's the picks this week?
I'm glad you asked me because Gary is 5-0.
Oh, that's the person I was talking about.
Okay, so New Orleans and Carolina, everybody picked Carolina except Mike. He picked New Orleans because he doesn't think that you know who's going to start. Atlanta, Detroit, everybody picked Atlanta. Baltimore, Jacksonville, everybody picked Baltimore. Cincinnati at Green Bay, everybody picked Green Bay. Tampa and Minnesota. Tony, Gary, Tampa is one of the best teams in the NFL right now. They're loaded. They have Deshaun Jackson.
I picked Minnesota as well, Gary. I get you on
They
that.
got Deshaun Jackson.
Okay, well, Mike, you made sure you took the rest of the show. All of you, Mike ran us off again. So As I said, I will not say goodbye. I say in a minute.